Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Listening to you sort of frame the new policy with language like the long term and the long view, I mean, given the moment that we're in right now, I mean, it sort of reminds you of another observation by an economist during the Depression that said, in the long run, we're all dead. I mean, at some point, we do have to focus on what's right in front of us right now. And, I mean, we just had a whole table full of economists testified before you, right and left, who all had pretty grim prognosis about where we are in terms of not just 08, but 09 and possibly into 2010. And, I mean, the staff here has provided us with information about the losses that other pension plans have taken just in the month of September of 2008. And it suggests that you're sort of reassuring words that in past recessions there wasn't a run on the plan because, in that we shouldn't use recessions as necessarily a warning or a precondition that there's going to be a strain on the plan. I mean, what I heard earlier this morning was something a little bit deeper and more deeply rooted in terms of what we're up against right now. So I guess the question I have is this. Okay, you've made this change in policy to invest in a broader range of instruments. Again, the reports we have is that you lost $3 billion in equity investments. I mean, if we hadn't done that, I mean, wouldn't we be in a better position today? I'm not talking about the long term, but today to deal with the challenge we face today.
No, the loss, the investment performance for fiscal year 2008, which concluded September 30th, and these are, again, I want to emphasize unaudited numbers, is based principally on the prior policy. We've made very small changes so far in transitioning into the new policy because as we went into manager selection and as we talked to transition managers and we saw what was happening in the fixed income markets, we saw things like liquidity crisis, et cetera, it made sense to not only have a long-term strategy. We're not market timers. We're not trying to be a market timer. Have a long-term strategy that's designed to pay our bills over time without having to turn to Congress for a multi-billion-dollar bailout, and at the same time, as we transition, to do so in a deliberate and measured way.
So then your testimony is then that this loss was not the result of any new policy?
Correct. The decline in our portfolio the portfolio was approximately 70% equities in September a year ago, and it is, other than the fact that equities have dropped, we have not changed our allocation yet. We have interviewed managers, we have prepared to make transition, but we haven't moved anything yet. We'll do so very, very deliberately. Obviously, I can't say specifically too much, like tomorrow we're going to sell, and nothing's happening tomorrow, X amount of fixed income. We would not want to say that to the world at large. Oh, did I say it wrong? Sorry, I think I had mixed these 30. It was 70% fixed income last September, and it has stayed approximately 70% fixed income, other than the fact that equities have gone down. We did not make the shift yet, even though we have prepared ourselves to do so.
Okay, I guess the other question I'd just like to follow up on was that, again, your comment that past recessions have not necessarily been triggered a run on the plans necessarily. Given, I assume you were here for at least a portion of the other testimony, just your own analysis of where we're headed over the next 18 months, 24 months. I mean, do you have any concern that this is going to be a little, that sort of, feeling that recessions don't necessarily cause a problem may be different this time, given the fact that pension plans are taking a huge hit out there?
I was only trying to answer the question about our policy and its relationship to recessions. I'm very concerned about the future. I certainly am not an economist, and I wouldn't want to try to predict it, but like any well-informed American, I look at what's going on in the economy, and I'm very concerned, and I'm concerned about the funded status of the plans that we insure. I'm concerned about making sure that promises made by these corporations are promises that they can keep. I'm concerned about making sure that companies do fully fund their plans, don't end up with more things like US Air and Bethlehem Steel, who we thought were fully funded and we found out that they weren't, yes, I'm concerned.